Hey, it's Greg here with maritimegardening.com, and today I'm going to make an omelet, primarily with the goal of showing people how to make an omelet. I was just watching a YouTube video, and some guy was showing how to make an omelet, and it seemed like the general principle the guy was trying to show was that to make an omelet, you just throw eggs in a pan and stir them around until it's hard, and that's an omelet. And at the risk of sounding, you know, like a bit of a snob, it's just not hard to make a good omelet. It's not hard to use a proper technique. And it's just a wonderful thing to have for a quick lunch, that sort of thing. So today I'm having like a spinach salad, some stuff from the garden, right? I got some Egyptian walking onions from the garden, a couple eggs, and potato and cheese. I always like to have 3 ingredients in my omelet. I usually have bacon in them, but anyway, let's get started here. All right, so I got the pan on. Often I like to put bacon in an omelet, but today I'm not going to bother. I'm a pretty big guy, so I'm going to do a 3-egg omelet. You can add milk or cream to the omelet to make it more rich. I'm not going to do that here. If you're going to do that, just put like half an eggshell of milk for every egg at the very most. Okay, so we got that there. I'm going to do about two pinches of salt and about 10 cranks of pepper, maybe a little bit more, maybe 15. Okay, so we got that. You stab your egg yolks and you give that a good whip until it's all the same color. I think people get overwhelmed by these, you know, French dishes, and they think they're, you know, a big deal to make, and they're not. Okay, now the next trick is you're just basically throwing everything in there, right? You're cutting everything up. I think you should cut everything up fine, but maybe that's just my proclivity. I'm also, you know, got the knife skills to do that. So you don't want to overpower. You don't want to do too much of any one thing. I always think like a tablespoon of each ingredient is about the right amount. I got dried mushrooms here. If you're finding groceries expensive, you might want to think about buying dry mushrooms. They don't go bad. You can soak them in water before you cook them to give them an intense flavor. They tend to be very flavorful, and they absorb the water very quickly. I mean, I'm just taking these dried here. That's probably enough. Cutting that up a bit, right? You could soak these before doing all of this, but I just throw it right in there. Okay, got some mushroom. That might be the equivalent of like 2 button mushrooms, give or take, which, you know, really you don't want to go overboard with ingredients. I got some of this. I'm one of these poor lactose intolerance people, so I have this sort of fake cheese that I use. But you use whatever you want. You don't have to have cheese in an omelet, but boy, I like it. And I find this one's okay. I mean, none of these vegan cheeses taste like the real thing. But if you can't have dairy or you're vegan or whatever, that's what you're going to go with if you want that flavor. And I find they get a little bit better at making these things every year. Okay, this is all ready to go into the pan. Let's go over and get her going. All right, we've got a nice hot pan here. This is a Teflon pan. You can do this sort of thing with a cast iron pan, but you need the edges to have that sort of, a lot of cast iron pans have a sort of sharp angle edge, and you want a sweep, right? A rounded edge to make an omelet. Otherwise, it's just not going to work out great. I would say you'd want, even with Teflon, you can do without butter, but I find it's better. So anywhere from a teaspoon to a tablespoon of butter, right? You can use vegetable oil, you can use whatever fat you like, right? You can do this in bacon grease if you want, but I find you don't want the oil. The star of the omelet for me is the egg. It should have an egg flavor, it should taste like egg. So if you have too much of any one thing, the eggs just don't get that. So you just put your egg and veg mix in there. Right? Now I can turn the heat up a little bit just while I get this going. And what you're doing now at this stage is you actually are going to move this around a little bit. Okay? So you're just moving this around a little bit until it stops moving around, until it doesn't want to move around anymore. All right? We're almost there now. We're practically there now. All right? So once it stops sort of recoalescing from being moved around, which is kind of where we are now, right? Then you're done moving it around, and you just give it about a minute to sort of harden up. You see how it won't pour, it won't really move much now, right? So we're just giving it a minute to solidify. For me, when you make an omelet, you don't want it too hard. I want a little bit of the egg. When I flip this thing over, I want a little bit of the egg still a little bit uncooked, believe it or not. Because it gives it sort of a creamy texture, right? All right, so I think we're close enough to that, for me anyway. I like my omelet a little soft on the inside. So now we just give this a shake, right? And we get it, see how I'm holding this handle here? So I'm moving it towards the opposite end of the pan. And you can see how it's lifted up like that? So now when I have this on an angle, I just tip her over, push it down a little bit, and I pull this down. See, like that? Okay? Like that. Then to put it on the plate, I'm going to zoom this back out here. I want to get this off the heat as soon as possible. To put it on the plate, you sort of hold the pan backwards. You got the plate like this, and you just flip it. And you have got this sort of perfect looking omelet. That's how you do it. Takes seconds. All right, so now I got a lovely omelet. I got a nice spinach salad here to go with it. I'm not on any special diet. People are going to ask things, are you doing this, are you doing that? No, I eat whatever I want in whatever quantity I want when I'm hungry. Today I felt like eggs and salad for lunch. That's what I'm having. All right. Tomorrow I might want an egg salad sandwich or a giant Montreal smoked meat sandwich. But anyway, there we have it. Lovely spinach salad with an egg omelet. Guess we should do a little taste test here. It's a bit hot, but I'm like a child. I don't like too much hot foods. But let's give her a taste. Yeah. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Tastes good, not overdone, soft, creamy on the inside. You take it out. You don't wait for everything to be completely cooked when you flip it, right? You're moving that pan around and everything's moving around, and all of a sudden you notice everything stops moving around even though it's still wet on top. Once that happens, count to 30 or something like that, depending on how much volume you've got in there, right? And then flip it the way I showed and put it on the plate. And you know, the stuff that's still uncooked, it'll continue to cook a little bit when you plate it up. And this all depends on how soft you like the omelet on the inside. Some people like it really soft and almost gooey on the inside. It really depends on your preferences. I like it just barely cooked sort of thing, right? I like everything cooked, but just barely. For me, that's the best egg flavor, to my palate anyway. So, hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. And until next time, have fun in your garden, have fun in your kitchen. Thanks for watching. Hey folks, guess what? I've started a newsletter at maritimegardening.substack.com. I'll be putting out one article a week. That's 52 articles a year. The articles expand on ideas that I mention on my videos and podcasts. And every article has a read aloud option, so you can just listen to me read it if you're busy doing something else. You can subscribe for $30 a year or try it for $5 a month and see what you think. It's a great way to help support everything I'm doing here. But hey, there's also free content too. So if you just want to read the free stuff, that's fine too. As always, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.